My name's Justin Ostrander. I'm a full-time guitar player in Nashville, Tennessee. I record guitar for a living. Welcome to my channel. Here you'll find lots of videos of me describing what I do when given a song, the way that I stack guitar parts, how I choose what to play and what tones. You'll see videos of me at work at various studios playing, and I'm just kind of peeling the curtain back, I guess. There's sort of a shroud of secrecy around the session scene, and I don't feel like there are really any secrets. If you want to be a guitar player who gets calls and gets called back, those are two different things, you just need to be a really great listener. You need to be in tune. You need to be able to play in time. You need to be able to play lots of different styles. You need to be able to interpret what people really mean when they ask you for a certain flavor or certain kinds of guitar parts. You need to be extremely agreeable. Just any sense of ego or self needs to be completely divorced from what you're playing, because people will tear up what you play with impunity right in front of you. Like, oh man, I just don't like that at all. Or that doesn't make me feel anything. And you might have just cut your own heart out and like offered it to them, you know? And so you need to understand that you're all on the hunt together for the right part. It might take a couple tries, and that's fine. You don't have to be the guy who nails the first take. If you're efficient, that's very helpful. But really, there's a lot of different skill sets that all add up to make a successful session guitarist. And I guess I'm just kind of revealing what some of those are with this channel. I'm going to go through this song that I was sent. I got dumped on this week. I got like 12 songs in 3 days, all to track from home, which I have to juggle around a session schedule and family schedule too. I've got kids in sports, and it's always a blast, and I really don't want to leave my wife hanging, so often you'll see me recording late at night. And when I do that, I really like to use this Rev amp because I don't make any noise. Right now, you can hear my tremolo buzzing. Right now, I'm plugged into a cab in the garage. I'm running through an Analog Outfitters Sarge, and I've got a 112 Morgan cab with a Warehouse ET65. And what's so cool about this is that they've got a 112 cab model that is basically my cabinet downstairs. They have the ET90 instead of the ET65. It's just a cleaner version of the same thing. So for me, it's one or the other. Sometimes I just use this all day long because it's so easy. But right now, I haven't plugged into my other rig in a really long time. So a long time for me is like a week or more, 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm just plugged in the garage. I've got a little bit of harmonic tremolo from Strymon on. I'm using the Mobius on my pedal board, and the reverb you're gonna hear is from that old Boss pedal that everyone used to hate, the Fender 63 spring reverb. And now, like, you couldn't give those pedals away for a while, but now they're super sought after because everybody realizes it's the only one that does that old school tank drip, right? I mean, it sounds like a spring. You just can't turn any of the knobs past like 9 o'clock. So it's got a very small usable range, but for like a subtle spring, it's great. If you turn the tone knob up, it's like, whoa, it's just unusable. So anyway, let's dig into this song. This is a young female songwriter. The vibe and the direction is kind of Memphis-y, kind of Muscle Shoals. She has a very pure voice, but I think they're kind of going for like an Amy Winehouse. All these sorts of sounds are how I categorize what this song is. And they just wanted some electric guitar from me. I've already played one pass, starting in the first pre-chorus with my Jeff Sen Telecaster. And so I'm going to go from the top with the Dano offset and just see how I can weave around the vocal, help identify sections, transition well, have a good dynamic map throughout the song, all while listening to the other guitar, the vocal, the kick pattern, where the bass is, all these other things. So again, I'm doing a lot more listening than I am playing. So let's dig in. Here we go.
Bringing up that pain. It's a funny thing. Someone supposed to love you could hurt you in such a way. Even though I've moved on, and it's been so long, there are times when my heart just longs for the emptiness you left to be filled. But what you don't realize is my life I'm taking back. I know I don't, 'cause there's no more you, no more crying from the pain, no more lies, no more suffering from the times. Bringing my heart down when it all fell down. But that's okay, 'cause I'm at peace with me and myself. 'Cause there's no more you.
Cool. Okay, so I just got off reading my chart. I was not counting bars well. I like this so far. Let me listen to this transition into the chorus.
'Cause there's no more you, no more crying from the pain, no more lies, no more suffering from the times. Bringing my heart down when it all fell down. But that's okay, 'cause I'm at peace with me and myself.
Cool. I'm just gonna jump in right there. I might get a whole pass and then come back and inspect a couple spots. So I like what's happening so far. My first guitar is staying up. It's staying up high and doing the old school kind of Cornell Dupree chicks. And weaving around the vocal. So I feel like this guitar, it makes more sense for me to be down in the... So that chord right there, it's not quite a full walk down, right? So we're going 1, 4, 1, 6 minor over 5. So while this guitar is playing that, the other guitar is going. It's really, it really is an A minor chord. That's an A minor triad over A right here, which just means A minor. Then you have A minor triad over G. That's 6 minor over 5 in good old Nashville speak. Which, you know, if that doesn't make any sense to you, it's probably because you're trying to make it out to be more complicated than it is. It's just a really, really simple way of thinking about chords. And it's a way to, it helps us write charts for different singers. Like, if a songwriter brings in a bunch of songs that they want to cut, but we want to change keys, well, I can write a chart for the work tape in numbers, and I don't have to change anything about the chart when we change keys. the one chord is still the one chord when we move from like C to A or whatever. So the whole chart stays the same. We just write a different letter at the top. So that's kind of, it's really a workflow thing. And it's not real, quote unquote, real music. Like I'm not reading a grand staff or anything, you know, that somebody notated. I don't have a score here, several pages. I just have one sheet. Yeah, I'll show you. That's my chart. I just scribbled it out, listening. I can chart almost any song in one pass, just top down, just writing as I go. Because most of what I do here is very simple, you know. It's weird to get something like a flat 7 or a flat 6, you know, that's different. But I can still hear that and chart it on the way. Sometimes there's weird stuff when I'm like, oh, I gotta go back and listen. Or I get real frustrated when I have to actually pick up a guitar and figure a chord out. Why am I'm hearing this, I know what it is. Why can't I just figure out the name of it, you know? Anyway, this song's super simple. Let's jump back in right at the end of this chorus.
'Cause I have peace with me and myself. 'Cause there's no more you.
Wow, that's the very end. Here we go.
'Cause I have peace with me and myself. 'Cause there's no more you. If I would have known meeting you was trouble, if I would have known my heart would take this tumble, if I could have known this doubt that you've been still, maybe I would have thought twice, giving you my trust, my heart, and listened to your advice.
Okay. This pre-chorus is a little confusing to me. There's a sort of a left-footed, and I mean that to say sort of like backwards. There's like a left-footed drum pattern happening. And I feel like it should be a scene change that sort of leads us to the chorus. It's a long section, so it doesn't need to be a drastic change, but the first guitar, I'm doing something like a... It's very Beatles. You almost hear that being a mellotron. So on the lower guitar, I want to match that sort of quarter note energy. And there might be a couple moves within the pattern, you know, that hopefully don't get in the way of the vocal. Let's find where that pre-chorus is.
Maybe I would have thought twice, giving you my trust. I would have thought twice, giving you my trust, my heart, and listened to your advice. As for your abuse, these tears have run dry. There's no more you, no more crying from the pain, no more lies, no more suffering from the ties, bringing my heart down when it all fell to the ground. But that's okay, 'cause I'm at peace with me and myself, 'cause there's no more you. Maybe what you don't realize is that I'm finally in charge. My life, my love, my heart, I feel restored.
There at the end of that bridge, I started playing something very similar to what the other guitar's playing, so I want to get out of the way of that. Let's hear what that is.
My love, my heart, I feel restored. 'Cause there's no more you.
Yeah, it's just it's sort of a... And again, that first guitar is a telly on a bridge pickup, so This guitar on the bridge pickup sounds a little closer to that. So I'm trying to stick on the neck pickup. All right, back to our bridge. Guys like to leave a hit way after the ring out. I don't know if they do that just to see if I'm paying attention to the end of the file. That last chord, again, I'm real hypersensitive to tuning. That's just a little flat. I feel like I should grab that last chord. It's probably that I'm not very out of tune, but I'm out of tune enough that with something else that's ringing out, it's rubbing. So it sounds worse because of something else, but it is a little bit out. So I'm going to punch just that last diamond. There's no more you. There we go. There's something I want to check out. You'll notice in the outro, there's this. That pattern's happening in the bass, and I'm catching it on the 4 chord, but I'm not sure that I'm catching it on the 1 chord. Let's just listen. 'Cause there's no more you. Let's get that. Might as well play that part again too, and wait to the very end. I like being a little behind, not anticipating things. That's hard to do, but I made a video about it if you want to look for it. What helped me learn how to play behind the beat. It seems to be something that mystifies guitar players, or they try to count some very small fraction of a rhythm ahead, or sorry, so they try to count like a try to catch something off of the upbeat afterward, and so but what happens is you end up anticipating. It's all about relaxing, 100%. relax your entire body. You could be holding tension in your toes and it will mess your playing up, your pocket. You could be holding tension in your neck, down your right arm, shoulder, your traps. For me, a big part of it was when I'm concentrating, I'm pushing my tongue against the roof of my mouth. Weird. So anyway, play a simple rhythm and pay attention to your body, and you will start to relax enough to where you just sort of sit right behind the beat. It's like the money zone. So that thing that we checked out in the outro, there's a turnaround as well, and it's the same thing. It's 1 to 4, and I have the other guitar doing the just a little hook. So I want to make sure that my rhythm behind that hook is the same in the turn as it is in the outro, because everything's a part, right? I'm not just playing the chords in whatever way I want and sort of meandering around the whole song. I've got a structure to each section of the song that's a guitar part. There's a difference between just strumming chords or arpeggiating chords or playing licks and playing a guitar part. I made a video about that too, if you want to check that out. Let's listen to this turnaround. That ain't it. I don't have any markers, so here we are. Yeah, I wasn't playing it. The bass is, though. Excuse me. That's what I need to do there. That's all I need to do there. All right, let's get in. I'm gonna play it a little louder. Sometimes when you punch, you realize you're either muting a tiny bit more with your right hand, or you're just not digging in as much. You want your velocities to all be the same. You don't want it to sound like an obvious. Cool. And so usually I go through and just look at my punches in and out. I operate solely on the grid in Pro Tools. I don't use slip. I use a bar of pre-roll. This song's at 72. I don't need any more than 1 bar. That's a pet peeve when I'm tracking with a band and we want to make punches, you know, and so somebody like me or the keys player, the bass player, the drummer, whatever, they'll ask to do a punch. Hey, can I get the back half of chorus 1? Well, the chorus is 16 bars. And like, all right, here's some of the top. And so you're like listening for 8 bars. Like, dude, I don't need nearly that much. At faster tempos, like 120 or higher, maybe 2 bars, but a bar. Give me 4 counts to get in, you know? And if I mess up the entry, we'll just do it again. I don't want to listen to 4 bars. It just seems like an eternity trying to get the spot that I'm trying to fix. So anyway, all my punches are on the grid. So I'm looking at these lines on the bar. And there's a couple things where I might just put a tiny tiny crossfade. But usually I'm playing with the same pocket and feel, and you don't really need to crossfade it. But I go through and check. One last thing I want to scope, and I'll let you guys go. The intro, playing before the vocal. The vocal's a pickup into the song. Do I even need to be there? Let's listen to it. I'm going to turn the click off since I'm not recording anymore.
Bringing up that pain. It's a funny thing. Someone supposed to love you could hurt you in such a way, even though I've moved on. And it's been,
I think it's cool, if they don't like it, they can delete or mute that one bar, because all I'm doing is, they can just start there, delete the first bar if they want. I'm gonna leave it there, and if they don't like it, that's what they'll do. They won't even, probably won't ask me to replay it unless they don't like what I played in the beginning. But sometimes I leave things tacked on to the front or onto the end that I'm not sure they're gonna like, but you know, they can't decide to not like it unless they hear it. You know, so they can delete it or mute that one bar if they want. So last thing I want to scope is just verse 2. There were some fills from my first guitar. I just want to make sure that it's all cool and everything works together. Let's listen. That's our turnaround. Verse 2. So you notice both guitars are really trying to weave their way around the vocal. The melody gets a little unpredictable. She really goes for some moments in the back half. The front half of the verse, I'm kind of laying out of the higher fills and licks just to kind of give it somewhere to go. The verse is 8 bars and we're at 72. It's not like it's an eternity, but it would be nice if there was some space, and then we added a lift for the back part, and then we get into the chorus. Again, it's all about your dynamic map through the entire song, right? So I don't think anything stepped on her vocal. There's some movement in both guitar tracks. Let me listen just one more time. One more time, top of the verse. If I would have known, meeting you was muted lines behind the vocal. My heart would take this tumble if I could have known this doubt that you've been still. Maybe I would. It's really just stepping out in her breaths, really, or as a note, as a phrase is, the last note of a phrase is sustaining, right? So the one guitar is in the background being all switch gears for the pre. So the one guitar is playing that sort of, you know, I would call that kind of guitar playing Muscle Shoals, Memphis-y, R&B, classic, you know, clean, reverb, muted with some grit. Like I always have a little bit of grit when I'm playing that kind of stuff. I want it to sound very human. So I try not to be too clean with it, too like surgical and precise. Have a little dirt on the edge of the tone. I don't think I even have any pedals. Oh, I do have the clean, like dead clean Son of Kong pushing the front end of my amp. So I think it sounds great. And then that other guitar, really, if I mute the second guitar and you just listen to the vocal here with the first guitar. If I would have known, my heart would take this tumble. If I could have known this doubt that you've been still, maybe. Yeah, just kind of dancing around in between the phrases, you know. I think it's cool. I'm good with this. I'm gonna send these off. see what they say. It's a pretty sparse track. I don't want to stack a ton of guitars. I feel like two guitars that play like it's a performance, you know. You'll see some songs on here that are really programmed out, and I will build those tracks up. Like, I'll have two stereo low guitars that are playing power, two that are doing diamonds. I'll have a higher guitar that's doing like delay stuff in the chorus, and then a solo track, and then that track's usually got verse 2 fills, and I end up sending a bunch of guitar tracks. But this song feels really organic. There's no loops, there's no programming. It feels like two guitar players in the band with her singing at a club or something, you know. So that's the vibe I'm going for. Anyway, thanks y'all. Have a good one.